Hi, this is Phyllis from AFC-Express, and I would like to now demonstrate how to make part 2 of the pettiskirt, attaching the ruffler to your next cut. In this case, I'm using a 5-inch piece of the nylon chiffon, and I have my ruffle, which we just demonstrated in part 1 of this little series, and I'm going to take my fabric and hold the edge open and just lay the ruffle right on top, about not quite a ½ inch away from the edge. Again, it's non-frace, so you don't have to worry. We're going to feed the 2 pieces under a regular foot. Lower the presser foot. The most challenging part of this is really keeping the fabric edges open, and the ruffle tends to twirl, so I keep my hands ready to straighten out anything. And here, with just a straight stitch, I'm going to begin attaching my ruffle to the cut. Okay, again, the challenge here is to try to keep the stitch that you're making directly over the stitch that made the ruffle. I'm going to make sure that pulls through, and holding the edges open. Because the ruffle tends to twist, I just sort of spread it out a little bit. And help it run through. If there is an area that I think is not ruffled enough, at this point I can still gather it a little bit more with my fingers. Okay, again, here we have the ruffle very nicely attached. Try to keep one hand holding the open edge of the bottom and one hand on the top, spreading and guiding it through. Keep going, and in no time flat, or a while, you again have a lovely piece of your first lower edge with the ruffle nicely attached. Okay, if you come to the edge and you see that you need to attach another piece, just pick up your next piece, lay it right next to it, sort of hold and guide that seam right through. Easy, 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 for some reason. Sometimes I lick my fingers to hold the edges open. I think the real seamstresses among you may have some other hints, since I'm basically not a seamstress. But here we have a beautifully attached ruffle to what will be the bottom of the pettiskirt. Have fun. I'll see you with layer 2. Okay, just a few hints on what I do and what I might suggest. After my ruffle is complete, I personally just attach the full ruffle to the next cut. If you are much more concerned with how many yards you're using, now is when I would measure out my 10 yards of ruffled fabric, of ruffle, cut it, and attach it. I don't cut the 5-inch fabric to the 10 yards. that's much more awkward to travel with and to work with, I just cut the ruffle to the amount of yardage that I want. But again, I try to do a lot of this without individual measuring, and so I work now with attaching the ruffle as far as it goes.